It's back. So it's gonna be like a year before I do the ink drawing thing, ink drawing video, but I'm gonna get to it. Don't worry. But I just want to do like show kind of like a haul of what I bought from the dollar store, because I showed it last time when I was painting my ink boxes. Remember that video? Or if not, check the playlist. And the thing that inspired the painting it. So I just want to show what I bought. So a lot of wood. They was having what the dollar store, and I was very excited to paint acrylic on it. But then I thought that I could paint, if I gesso it, I could paint oil on it. So also some more wood, even more wood, and of course what I originally went there for, canvases. They come 3 in a pack, and it's like 4 by 6. So I was surprised to see these two, erasable highlighter and watercolor, you can't read that backwards, sorry, watercolor pencils. So I definitely had to try those. I couldn't help myself. They had metallic markers in white and silver. They also had gold and blue, but I couldn't help myself. I had to buy silver, and I just want to try the white. More acrylic paint from the dollar store. So I don't expect much from it. I had the white one. It didn't apply well on the box, but I want to see how it feels on the canvas and this color. And this is also a dollar store one, but this is different. This is different from this one, which I had from last time, so I'm going to try this one too. And lastly, they had tacky glue. So yeah, and I had to buy one of those. So yeah, I am going to open this, swatch some of these out. You already seen me using one of the canvases and the oil painting, and as well as the acrylic painting with my sister. So I'm not going to use these. I do plan to use these wood. I don't think I'll do the oil painting in this video because it would be too long. And I'm planning to use, I think this is like an MDF board. It looks kind of like MDF board. So I want to use, like, there's 2 types of gessos, store-bought and traditional, like, made gesso. So for the made gesso, because this is like an MDF board, I want to see if it applies. I can use homemade gesso on this, the MDF one, and then use regular gesso on, I guess, this one. So, and the rest are going to be acrylic painted on. So yeah, all these are just going to be acrylic painted. Maybe it's this one. Acrylic painted the rest of them. So yeah, to get started. So the first thing I want to use, and I'm most excited to use, is these watercolor pencils. I don't think I'll be using glue today. There's nothing for me to glue much. Maybe the wood, but I don't think I'll be gluing that. So I forgot to take out a brush. Brush. Okay, I love using water pencils with other water suitable. I'm guessing from the way the pencil's already broken that it ain't gonna be great, but let's see how it works as a medium. The green and blue is already broken. The purple chip, the reddish chip, the only one that's still good is the black and yellow. So let's start with those. This feels so light. I could easily break this. Anyway, where is that? Okay, I don't know how well this is work as a watercolor pencil. If you look at these, it seems to do fine, but this is the lightest one. So let's go with the darkest one, black. I'm pressing very lightly with this. Yeah, no. You could so strongly see the pencil mark. Like, it's a good thing I'm doing it on this page. But this is indigo, and this is the Faber-Castell. See how the pencil mark almost disappear? This is dim work. This is why I said I didn't like dim work so much, but you get a lot of color, but you can still see the pencil marks, but not as strongly as this one. Like, you see the difference? I'm not sure how I will be using these. These are almost gone, so let's use a red. Let's try red. Okay, so I have to be careful how I use these. Purple, my favorite color. These are passable at best, but depending on the color, I definitely don't like black. Let me try it one more time. This is purple. Let me try black one more time. Nope. 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 Okay, I gotta stay away from black. The black does not work well. I mean, the other color is not great either. But it's nowhere near like this or this or this. This is not that great either, but I could work with this. This is way too strong. These are workable too, so I like the lighter colors. Let me try two more, the other ones that's broken, the green and the blue. Where's my sharpener? Can I use it like this? I could use the blue, but I need a sharpener for the green. And I can't find my sharpener, so I will not be trying the green today. Okay? But I can still try the blue a little bit. So let's try the blue. So I like all the colors so far but black. I cannot test the green out. But yeah, so that's my opinion about these $1 watercolor pencils. And I need to put them someplace. I'll put them here for now. Now let's try these markers. I bought the silver and I bought the white. Of course. I just went crazy at the dollar area at the craft store. You know, the craft area at the $1 store. There was so much things I wanted to buy. I think I should have a picture of it, of what I want to buy from the craft area that I put in my basket, but I just put back because like, no, or things I want to pick up, and I was like, maybe not today. There was a palette knife. There was poster paints. I don't have much poster paints, but I want to try that one. It took me forever to get through these. Like, just peeling. Okay. And try it. Look at it. Okay, it shows up very well right here. Well, you can't see it, but it shows up very well up here. It doesn't show well over here, but I guess because it's still wet. You can't really see it, can you? How about here? Okay. So this works nicely. And the color is nice and it is very shiny. You can see that. I wonder if I could. Nope. Can't overlap it. It's starting to blend. Ooh, but at least I know a way to blend it. Go from silver to white. Okay. So these are pretty standard. How I expect it to work. Last thing I want to try out on the paper. Erasable highlighter. Clearly I've been not buying things to work in one project. Well, the only thing that works in one project is the wood and the panels and maybe the markers. And this is like so irritating. Some things just got my curiosity. I don't know about the glue either. Again, maybe I could glue the panels together, but there we go. So this is the eraser part. I'm guessing this is the highlighted part, so let's test it out. Oh shit. Okay. That's nice. I like this. This became my new favorite toy. I could probably do art with this too. I definitely could do art with this. Oh my gosh. That is so fun. Okay. Yeah. Definitely buy this if you see it in a dollar store. So that's a bit for now. For the panels, I plan to use these paints, but also the paints in my art box. So yeah, I can't wait to get started. Okay, right from the start, I did not like coat this with white gesso or white paint or whatever. I just went straight with paint on this. And I just want to talk about quickly about the paints. The paints I'm using right now are the dollar store paints. I didn't use the paints from the Art Box 101 yet. I first want to use the acrylic paints I got from the dollar store. And the blue paint works just fine. It works just like, well, typical acrylic paints. And I use that for the letters. Here's the thing. When using it, the brush I used though was the brush from the set, from the kit. The Brush 101 kit. I didn't bother using my good brushes for this. I was like, I'll just use the brush from the art kit set and try that out because I haven't tried the brushes yet in the set. So I was very curious to how that worked, and I have some regrets. I will show it to you later, but I do have some regrets. I mean, it didn't hit me here, but it will hit me later. Anyhow, that was a blue. Now when I'm using the... Wait, I'm still using blue. Huh. Almost done? Am I done yet? Am I done? Alright. Now moving on to the red. Here's the thing about the red. I had to check the bottle again to make sure I'm not like losing it. Because they did sell paint tempera in the dollar store. So I didn't want to make sure, because I didn't want to pick up tempera. I want to make sure it's just acrylic. This feels like tempera. I don't know why it's called acrylic. It feels like tempera, but it is called acrylic. So I'm just going to base off what the bottle says, and just to make sure I'm not losing my mind, I actually did research to make sure what's the difference in consistency. Okay, you know the word, right? Consistency. Screw it. Of the paint, and tempera is more creamier than regular acrylic, and that's how I feel about this, which made me did a double take, like, wait, ooh, this goes on nice and fine and creamy. Ooh, is this really acrylic? Huh. But yeah, that's the consistency of tempera. Here I'm using my Art 101, but I'm gonna still talk about the tempera thing a little bit longer. I'm gonna use these more, so don't worry about it. You see, not missing anything. I just want to talk about the tempera thing because also when looking at the tempera, they also easier to wash off than acrylic. The blue, I didn't have any problem with the putting the tempera anywhere that I need to wash it off, so I can't tell if it's easy to wash off or not. But I do know the blue dollar store paint is not that easy to wash off because I got some on my table. That's all I have. That's all my take of this. But anyhow, but yeah, that's, and it's also like not light fastness, but you know, this is a dollar store paint, so I don't expect any light fastness from either of these. I'll be surprised if it does, honestly. But it is easy to use, so if you want to get it, or if you could find it, get it. More about that. But let me quickly talk about these paints, the Art 101 paints, because these are nothing. The dollar store, well, I don't know how to say it, but these are nothing compared to the dollar store. Basically, they're kind of worse. But that's to expect because it's an art set, and I expect cheaper, but not cheaper than dollar store. Okay, I'm just judging it a bit too harshly. I think most of the problem was the brush. This is where I start feeling the brush problems. It was not a very easy brush to use. And I didn't know what colors I was going to do because it was starting to look a lot dark, because when I put the purple, it started to look dark, but the green made it pop, and it looks nice now. I also later had to do the other side, because the other side is like, I need a sign to tell people I'm recording, because people just like to walk in, especially if I'm talking, walk in. I already started, I did the black area, now I have to do the rest. And I'm starting doing the white, the coloring. Okay, about the white. I said this about earlier before in my painting the box. Cheap white sucks. Cheap acrylic white sucks. You can just invest in a proper white, expensive white acrylic. If you could go cheap with any other color, but invest in expensive white paint, because cheap white don't work. It's just not opaque enough. I have yet to find one that's cheap and that's opaque enough and applies easily. I had to apply this paint so thick just to get it white. And you could see it. Like the black, which is flat. And I could show you right now, like right here, the brush is coming like apart, it's not staying in shape. Like I have like extra flyaway hairs. And like, I'm not showing every single process of this one. As you can see, I just jumped from the white to the strawberries. Also, like the hairs was coming out of the brush, so it was very difficult to use. And once again, applying the white on the strawberries, I had to apply it really, really, really thick. But other than that, the paints were not so bad of use. It was mostly the brush. I mean, as I said, you get what you pay for. It is working nicely for what its purpose, I guess. If you use it for a kid, it'll be fine. Trust me and believe, though, the paints are actual acrylics and not like the tempera dollar store. I have a little bit of problem wiping it off my table if you don't wipe it automatically and it dries. So yeah, and I feel like there was something else I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, on the other side, I added the green. I was going to stick to the tempera, the blue or whatever, on the other side, but instead I on this side because it just works with the color I applied beforehand with the red and the green. So yeah, and this is the final look. What do you think? I really like it, and it will serve the purpose of why I created it. So I'm happy to have this sign. And you see I have a gesso out. I'll be using that soon. But right now, this is done, and I'm very happy with it. And this is where I use the gesso. I decided to use the gesso for the smaller ones and apply gesso on top of the cutouts before I paint it. And these cutouts come like 6 in a pack. So you have 3 different cutouts, and there's double of them in each pack. At least this one, when I bought this pack, when it was available. And this is where this is what I want to talk about before earlier. Not jumping onto this topic. I am just jumping around. My head is going further than my mouth could catch up, and this video could catch up. So as I played, gesso work goes down on this nicely, by the way, if you're curious. It is wood. It is just basic, flat, cheap wood. And it works for its purpose. And it was also getting dark, so I tried to use a lamp. No, it wasn't getting dark. My mother was working on my window, so she was pretty much putting shade, because I'm in a basement. I already don't get a lot of light. Extra shade, so it gets pretty dark. And it was going to get even darker later. Because between this and the other painting, I took a break to eat and stuff like that. So it would get dark in this painting. And as I said, I am just jumping around everywhere. Okay, Gabby, focus. Center. As I was saying. I was trying to say earlier. When I'm shopping for at dollar stores, it's pretty much like a roulette. You get what you never know what you get or what you will find. So I like going and shopping and see what's there at the craft area of the dollar store. Quick note, over here I am drawing owls and drawing other shapes and trying to figure out what I'm going to draw on it, because I didn't want to draw just a butterfly, a ladybug, and an owl on the top of the cutouts as it is. I want to draw something different. I want to be more inspired, so I was originally inspired of pasting using the tacky glue to paste on top of the arrow. You'll see how it looks in the end. But this is me trying to figure out a sketch idea, and I came up with this character of a starry night. Excuse me. As a starry night. And so yeah, and I was drawing this character, and yeah, no, Gabby, no, that's not how you draw a character. That's not how you make a character. Erase. Okay, so it'll take a while. But anyhow, I came up with starry nights, and she was like praying or insecure because everyone is looking at her. And who's looking at her? The eyes on the butterfly, the owl, and the ladybug. And I want to draw a different color eyes because I love drawing and coloring eyes. I also like stars, so that was a good mashup for me of stars and eyes. So I decided to go with that and try to figure out the colors I'm going to use. So yes, the colors I'm going to use for the background, for the arrow, and the colors I'm going to use on top of the cutouts. I pretty much figure out, I didn't get to record it because my camera shut off, but I pretty much figured it out, and I also figured out the character. And this is me, this time, sketching. Did I do that last time? Wait, I did sketch. But this time I actually planned ahead. The other one I didn't plan ahead, I just jumped right into it. The sign. I knew it wanted to be a sign, but I didn't know what to do other than that. I randomly made up strawberries and flowers right there on the spot. So yeah. And you didn't see it, but I just made a shrug because I don't know. I don't know, and I am like eternally sorry. Eternally sorry. Sorry if I went too aggressive. I just feel like I should pronunciate better. So, whew. Okay, so then I went darker because it was too light with the pencil I was using before, which was a HB pencil? Question mark? Yeah, I don't know. I really didn't know. So, yeah, so I was doing a prayer, and I'm using my hands as model to get the prayer sign. But yeah, that's about it. And I pretty much, on the fly, got the autonomy, right? Usually I don't. I usually had to get a lot of references, but the autonomy didn't look bad when I did it right off my head. So I'll give myself a half tap on the shoulder. I could have done better if I look up references, but I didn't. So half a tap. I don't know if you can hear it, but they're still doing fireworks right outside. FYI, by the time I put this out, it will be next year. So this is like in summer of 2020. Just for you to know. Just to get a reference. And then here I was drawing the wings, and the wings are the inspiration of the wings of the cutouts. Is what I'm getting inspired from wings. And then I'm doing the eyes. Did I mention what I'm doing the eyes? No, I did not mention how I'm doing the eyes. Okay, so I'm doing 3 different eyes. One is closed, one is like a surprise, or oh my gosh, or Whoa, eyes. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not good at explaining. But that's basically the eyes I was trying to go for. And this is me trying to figure out how I'm gonna fit all these cutouts. And I said, you will see how it come out in the end. For the that's not a butterfly. That's a ladybug. The ladybug is like a more angrier, and you can see the sketch right there to the side. And for the owl, the eyes is closed. I'm gonna say her, but it could be a man too. Honestly, it's just eyes. Now here I use a mixture of the Art 101 and the dollar store paints for the background. Just to get a nice blue shade. I wanted it to go darker, but I liked how it was, so I left it. I didn't want to go add black to it or anything, or gray. I just left it. What is English? Left it as is. I feel like I just made up my own language that time. I don't even know what I said. So yeah, so painting and painting. And yeah, so speaking of roulette, dollar store roulette. Yeah, so I was expecting to find, as I said earlier, I mostly went to shop for panels, like dollar store panels, because I use it with my sister, and it wasn't that far a long time. I used it the same year. I bought those panels, canvases. I bought those canvases to use, and then like later on, then when I went back, the two dollar stores near me didn't have any canvases. I found the canvases at the furthest dollar store, like literally an hour walk away. Was able to find it, and I was able to find a lot more stuff. So that became my new favorite dollar store than the ones that's near me, because I feel like they just have more craft. The craft area is much more. I don't know. It's just more stuff to pick out, I guess. Or maybe because the craft areas near my house just go out real quick. And here I was trying to add the white, and as I said, I'm going for the skin. Whoops. So yeah, using our 101, I used the brown, I think it's called sepia on the package, to do the skin. And once again, I usually don't do this, but tap on the back, because I wasn't sure what I was doing with the paints. I usually go in blind and figure my way around as I go along. Starting with like, where the heck is the light in the dark coming from? Is it coming from beneath, behind her? I don't know. I'm just going in blind. So I know to add shade where her body is overlapping. That's it. But other than that, I have no idea where the light source was. I was still pinning it out, and I think it was going to come, because I wanted to show her face. It's coming from down there. I made a gesture, like in my real life, like as I do this old voiceover, like you could see me. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Basically, it's like coming from underneath her, but then it could also be coming from behind her, like a small little bit of a glow. And I almost colored her clothes, or I thought her clothes was her belly. I was having trouble defining it, but then I think I managed to get the separation between her arms, her belly, and her 2 feet. She has 2 feet that are sticking out, they're folded. And it looks like a nice little prayer she's doing. I actually have no idea what's the story behind her, but it looks like a prayer, or she's like wishing for something very, very strongly. And she has wings, so she's probably flying, because it's like the skies behind her. I don't know the story behind this character, but I'm very happy with her. And here is where I run into issues. I don't know what I was doing with the face. Again, I don't know what I was doing. I know what I wanted, but I didn't know what to do or how to get it. I feel like I mess up. I got the face, and then I mess it up. That's how I felt about the face. And when I started messing, I'm like, okay, this is when you stop. Stop, Gabby, stop. Nope, don't go any further. That's it. retire your paintbrush right now. That's how I felt doing her face. And I feel like I messed up the video because I feel like there's a big blank spot where I'm seeing. But I'm recording that now, so I don't want to stop it. I'll stop it when I get there. And I'll figure it out. Anyhow, as I was painting the face, I was also trying to paint around her eyebrows and her eyelashes and her eyes, which were quite small. But then I color her eyes in the sketch. But in this version, I have her eyes closed, so you don't even see her eyes. But if you're curious, it was going to be turquoise blue. Very pretty color. Then I'm trying to figure and paint the mouth. I'm using a bit of the, I think red, the cadmium red from the Art 101 box. Also note, worst paints ever, not because of the quality of the paints itself. I'm talking about the packages now. So, if you watched any of my video before, the one where I was painting on tone materials, I used the Art 101, a bit of some of the Art 101 oils. One of the oils, when I went back to look at my stuff, when I opened my case, it smells so strong of turpentine, because oils, by the way, is typically made out of linseed oil, if you don't know. But these oil paints are made specifically out of turpentine. You could tell because it smells like turpentine. So, when I trying to look to see why I have a smell coming from my box, you can see liquid was coming right off, like covered the whole tube. Well, not the whole tube, just the top part. It was the red part. See, this is what I'm talking about getting dark. The red part, and you can see I also painted a little bit before because this is where I was starting having trouble with my it's not laptop camera, because it was either was because of the battery or because of the memory card. So either one. And I'm painting her hair red, and I am, as usual, skipping around with my combo because this is what we do. I had no idea what was going with the hair. I think the hair was the worst of it. I felt very good, but now looking back, I feel like, oh, I could do better. I should have done better. No, Gabby. That's how I felt after I looked back on it. I know I'm talking way too much and way too random stuff. But yeah, so I was trying to add highlights. I liked it at highlights. That's the part I liked. What I didn't like was adding a shade. Because I didn't like the color of the shade, which I think was gray, and then it was just like killed the color. It killed the color for me a bit. So then I tried to go back with just like a dark red, like trying to make the red dark with a separate color that's not gray or black. And it felt better, but yeah, no. The hair, I didn't like the hair. That's all I could say. I think the hair would have been the least favorite. If the hair was good, the face would have been the least favorite part, but right now the hair is my least favorite part of the whole illustration. This whole board. Then, once again, in adding that white very thickly, because that white was not showing up unless I had it thick. It was like very thin. You see how it had to add more and more layers of white. I tried to use gray, but that gray wasn't, I wasn't doing it, honey. So, 20 minutes. I've been speaking for 20 minutes. No. I had shortened this video. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna leave it. I can't bother no more. Okay, so, as I was saying earlier about the Art 101 and why I don't like these, not only because of the paints aside, they do their work good enough for children, except for the oil. I want to avoid turpentine oil for children. But other than that, everything else works fine. As is, it's just the packaging. So getting back to the turpentine oil, it was a busted hole in that oil. Ooh, it got real dark. Honey, can you see anything? I eventually got light. But anyhow, what I was saying. Oh, the turpentine, the oil paste, when I pick it up and I didn't squeeze it hard, just a slight squeeze. You can see it bubbling, and I realized there's a hole in my oil paints, and it smelled like my room of turpentine. When I left and came back, my room smelled of turpentine just because of that one oil paint. So I not bandage it, but use tape in hope that will cover it up, and I won't smell no more. And it worked in the meantime. But that was not the end of it, because even the acrylics, the top part of the acrylics, the cap, were busted. Acrylics were coming out from the cap. Well, WTF. And it's not just one. First of all, the same color as the oil was messed up for the acrylic, the cadmium. But then also the blue. I'm like, WTF, how do you break? P.S. This is my favorite part. I really love how the wings came out. I was not exactly as planned, but it worked better than I did in the color pencil sketch. So, excuse me. So I was very happy and proud of how this came out. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna just fast forward it. Unless you actually want to see the exact process, paint by paint, of how I did this. You know what? I'll leave it. In case you are curious about how I do is paint by paint, painstakingly do the whole process. So yeah, so I was applying I was trying to do a gradient, and the gradient came out pretty nice of between the purple, pink, and orange. Pretty much pink, because it's like a purplish pink because I had red and I add the white on top of the wet. Sounds like me. Oh my gosh. Have you ever watched Big Bang Theory? That guy, yeah, that's just sounded like that guy just now. So that's where my mind jumped to. So anyway, so the red, I added a little bit of white on top of the red and purple gradient, and then I added a little bit of orange. It looks so pretty. Technically it's vermilion, but whatever. It's pretty much orange to me. So I really like it, I like how it came out. It kind of blended with the red, but then again, I did add red to it, although I had white, but it still will work. My only problem was this painting getting too dark? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. But I like it. I love it. I should have added a white outline of her, around her, or something like the part where the light is coming from. I should have added a white line there. Oh well, you won't see it in this video, or a little later on when I show it. I might add it on now as I'm saying this, but you won't see it. I'm sorry, that sounds so aggressive. But you won't see it, I'm sorry. Because I'm not recording it anymore. So now I'm trying to use a bit of see, this is why I'm saying the creamy consistency. It blends well and still works well with acrylics. It's fine. It just has a more of a tempera consistency than it has an acrylic consistency. And I cannot pronounce for nothing. I'm sorry. So I am trying to get like the wings. I had to think about what word I was going to say. It's like just like the wings. I'm trying to do a green between a green and the red. It's look more like a brown, but on the package it says red. Well, it has a word before the red, so it's like a certain type of red. I just don't remember the word. I mean, I could go into my cabinet, my wardrobe, my art wardrobe, and look for that paint and tell you the exact color. But it's buried under a whole bunch of other paints and stuff, so I really don't want to take it out. So just take my word for it. It's a type of red. Please. So yeah. And this is the only one left of... No, they had one other color, I think was black, of this specific type of paint. And it looks like it probably had a rows and rows of this color. I could be wrong. Don't take my word for it. Take it with a pinch of salt. But a lot of these colors are gone, and I did went back. You will see at the end, back again, playing Russian roulette with the dollar store. See what they have, or if they still have what I wanted, because I really liked what was going on, and I did a research on the tacky glue. As I might as well just spoil it. I didn't get to use it for this video. Sorry. It turns out that the panels were way too big for this arrow, or this arrow is way too small for those little wood cuts. So I just ditched the idea. I mean, they still look fine on their own. I'm just slightly disappointed. So I went back, mostly to buy more of the glue, but also to get a few more other stuff instead. Just like 3 more other stuff besides the glue. I went overboard, and here, because it was so dark, I got my lamp. And oh no, it was a green. I think it was a green, not the blue, because you see me taking paint from top to cover. Yeah, it was just like burst of something. It looked kind of like a zit, a bursted zit. It's not a nice image, but yes, that's how it looked like to me. It looked like a bursted zit, and I didn't like how because I was trying to do shading, but at the same time, I had a gradient, and it would just come off more like shade. So I really didn't like how the skirt came out, because it also looked too separate, and it didn't like one cohesive gradient on the skirt as it did on the top. So I didn't really like how the skirt came out either. So basically, the one things I like were everything but the face, the skin but the face, the wings, and the blue. I didn't even like the white. The white was so thick. I had to cover the gray with more white, and I added more white stars to this. And then after that, I called it quits, because then I was done with it. And you just see me adding as much stars to it as possible, and then I move on to the ladybug. I knew it. I knew what I was thinking. I knew what it was. I swear. So I started with the smallest part because I wasn't sure how I was going to do this. How I knew the colors I want on this bug will be red and green. This will mainly be red and green. Only red and green I'm using on this woodcut. Why red and green? Because red because of ladybug, green because green goes with red. It's a complementary color. Hey. And also red represents anger, and the ladybug eyes, not the ladybugs, the eyes on the ladybug cutout is angry. So that's why red. Green, I guess envy. I don't know. I wasn't sure how I was coming to do this, but I think this one came out actually the best. So, and this was the first one I did. I wasn't sure how I was doing it. Also, to add lighting, I was just feeling my way around the whole thing of adding shade, and I decided to mainly use red around the base of except for the eyes, and the other areas will be mostly green, like the eyebrows, the eyelashes, and probably the eyes itself. So yeah, and adding white for shade. Did I do the whole thing? Did I manage to paint? I mean, not paint. I did paint the whole thing. Record the whole thing. Yeah, so yeah, this is me doing the eyebrows in the green I just said and talk about. I also added, instead of adding red for shade, I just added white for highlights. And then, yeah, so you didn't see the finished product of it. Now I'm doing the owl. And the owl is the closed eyes. And for this theme, it was supposed to be violet and blue, like cyan blue. Or is it ultramarine? Ultramarine blue. I almost forgot what blue they have in this. And it was like night, so I felt like mystery go with sleepy, and as owl, so eyes closed, nighttime, nighty night, like that. So yeah, that's all it is. But I also liked it. I liked the colors more than I liked the execution of this. The execution was alright until I added a little bit too much highlights. And then once again, just like the face, this is when I said stop, Gabby, stop, put the paintbrush down. I didn't even bother to fix it. I just left as is. But as I said, and it was like getting so dark with the blue and the purple. So it really needed the highlights, but I just think I added like just a tad bit too much. Also, I don't think I record the whole thing of this, but it was like, it was nice, but then I realized it was around this time I realized I didn't do the eyelashes on the green one. So when this cut off, you will see that I added, not only finished this, but also added highlights, well, not highlights, eyelashes to the green one, and I added eyelashes to this one. And on top of the eyelashes, I also added little like freckles. I started with freckles, but I'm like, you know what I should do? It goes so much with the theme. Stars. Freckle stars. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I did. I added freckle stars, although at the same time when I'm doing this, I also knew that I would not be pasting this onto the board. But you know, I still had a little bit of hope left. Sorry for being a little bit of an optimist. But yeah, so yeah, this is when I started looking good. It was going good. It was going so good. I ruin it later on. You probably won't see it. You won't see me spoil it. Sorry. But yeah, so I just macking the purple down, and I was like trying to work my way down, adding the blue shade and white highlights at the bottom of the owl. I think it looks pretty dope. It's kind of my favorite because my favorite color is purple. Technically this tube says violet, but it's purple. And yeah, so here it is in all its glory, the final product of the owl and ladybug. And now I move on to the butterfly. The butterfly theme was originally just going to be orange and purple, but since I already used purple for as a base of the owl, I know what it was called. I'm sorry, but I knew. So I decided to use, but I still want to use purple for this, but instead to make it more, I don't know, reddish. So I added purple and red to the shade of the butterfly, and I actually like the colors too, but as you go on, you will see, it starts to look more like a bit of a flesh color. Yeah, that was not done on purpose. It will kinda, as I said, it kinda look like a flesh color, at least on this video. On in life, it doesn't look like a flesh color at all. It looks orange with pink shade. And the thing about these paints, it could go off as not go off. It could also be, although except for the like creamy consistency, which it doesn't have, also could be like tempera, or better yet, it more works with the dollar store white. But yeah, its own white is that the light colors are very not opaque. It's very translucent, like you can see underneath it. Unlike the darker colors, which you can hide more with it. And I'm making this hand gesture, like you can see. Once again, like you can see what I'm doing, but you can't because I'm not recording myself right now. And I don't want to, like, ever do it. I'm camera shy. I don't like the camera. The camera don't like me. I'm sorry. Just a heads up. But so this one is going really quickly. I speed up this one real quick. But yeah, so adding the highlights, and this one also, I don't think I messed up. I just don't think I did as a good job as I did with the others. I was struggling. I think I was struggling the most on this one. I don't know why. I can't remember why. Honestly, it's been a while since I did this, between the time I did this and the time, and then I don't take notes, so I really don't remember why. Because I was not recording, I was editing another video, so I didn't get to edit this exactly the time and day I shot this. Sorry. But I think I did an okay job. So that's all I could say about this. It's not much. Oh, about the eyes. For the green one and for this one, the butterfly and the ladybug. I added, for the eyes, instead of going just pure white, it's already white, you can see it. Just to add that little depth and liveliness, I used the gray and blended and added white on top of it to not make it as much gray. So yeah, so I added, so the gray, instead of adding just pure white, it's grayish, more grayish white. Because I learned from my sister, who went to school for communication for 1 year, the ways to make your eyes look less dead or creepy is to add some white
not to add white, it's to add some colors or gray into your whites. Just makes it more alive and pops. And it, not like a really harsh dark gray, like a very it could be a very light gray. It just looks less dead. At least when it comes to painting, or like when I did a graphic design of myself, a self-portrait of myself. But yeah, so yeah, and you can see me adding gray on this one. I didn't do it. You didn't see me do it off the lady, but you see me doing it this one. I thought I didn't do it, but I did. Also, the eyes was really hard to paint because I didn't want to paint pupils onto the eyes. It was supposed to be like if you ever read a manga ever, it's those eyes. I don't know how to describe those eyes. I don't even have a word for them, but it's those eyes. I was trying to recreate those eyes with paint and in color. The first one came out alright. It was repeating the same thing I did on that eye onto the other eye. It didn't work out as well or as smoothly, but other than that, I actually like.
Alright, I'm done. So here it is. Using dollar store materials, as well as materials from my art box, and well, the gesso, which was like extra necessary. I made these stuff. I'm really proud of this. I think I said it before, but really am. Also really love these buggies. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below if you want to see me do anything, experiments with any art supply, or do some particular challenge, or you know, just comment whatever you like or dislike, whatever. And or you know, if you like, please, well, besides like, if you like, please share, or like what I'm doing. Also support me on Patreon. Thank you for watching. Gabby out. Bye. So I was really happy with the prospects I could do with the glue, that I decided to go back to the store to test my luck and see if I could find any more of it. And they had 3 more, so I bought 2 of them because I feel like these will be really good. And just a side note, I won't do an illustration or painting with these. I mean, I will use them maybe in another video, perceivable video, or just like for myself or my own, whatever. I also went and bought palette knives. I wanted to buy these for the first time I went, so I decided to take a chance and, you know what, just buy it. They're different sizes and shapes, so I wonder if I could do like paintings. Seeing people do paintings with it, I want to try it. And it's like $3, it's cheap, so it is different sizes and shapes. And I love MDF boards, so I went there thinking that maybe, so originally went for like the glue, palette knife, and if they had any more MDF boards, in different shapes. I bought the butterfly one because if it's MDF, I could put homemade gesso on it, so that's good. And I was thinking of buying another one, another MDF board, like 2 of them, so another butterfly, but instead I decided, because they had these, instead of buying, sorry, it's like so big. Can you see now? Yeah, so they had these canvases, these large canvases, and I didn't buy 1, I bought 4. So instead of buying 2 small extra one of these, I just bought, you know, 4 big ones. So these are like 11 by 14. That was like such a good big size. Size. And I also bought one. It's not small as the other one because that's 3 in a pack. This one's slightly bigger. It's 6 by 8. It's larger than the 4 by something. I think it's 4 by 7, and the 3 by 5. I think. So it's larger than that, but small. It's pretty small too compared to the 11 by 14. And because the painting what I did with the arrows and bugs. I originally wanted to glue the bugs on the arrow, but since it was so small, I bought another wood, and it's a flower. So I think this will, and I have one more of each cut of the flower, of the butterfly, owl, and ladybug. So I decided, and this will go good with it. Sorry, too far again. The flower shape wood. So I'm gonna paint and make something, glue it on here, and not with the, and use the rest of the butterfly, ladybug, owl, and paste it on here with the tacky glue, and then I finally get to test out actually, not just look it online. So that's it officially. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button to see any updates and new videos. If you like, please support, if you like what I'm doing, please support me on Patreon, or share this video or any of my other videos. Check the playlists. Thank you for watching, and if you got this far, I'm really grateful.